Hello there, YouTube, and I'm making this video today for Reina Martin, his 100 sub contest. And John, I do want to congratulate you on the growth of your channel, and everybody that has watched his channel, I'm sure knows he has a tremendous collection of cards and also even more so memorabilia. It's just an amazing assortment and collection that he has. And so for his contest, he wanted us to talk about a couple of items that kind of got us started in collecting or perhaps kind of shaped us in our collecting. And I'm going to talk about a couple items that I can't say got me started collecting, but were kind of the impetus for how I became a different type of collector. And so going back to the beginning for collecting for me starts back in 1989. I remember my mom buying a pack of Donruss baseball, one for each of me and my two brothers. So we opened up our packs, and I remember my pack having a card of Ryan Sandberg, who was on my favorite team of the Cubs. And I remember I carried that pack of cards in like the cargo pocket of my pants that I had for to school, and I creased up that Sandberg card something fierce because it was on top of the stack, and how kind of wrecked those first cards, so I don't have any of those cards from that first pack at all. But from that point on, I got into collecting. Some of my friends in school had already started collecting, and so between my brothers and I, we all got into it. Although me more than either of them. And for the next years, I had a paper route, and I had a little bit of money that I could always was able to purchase cards, but I didn't have access really to a whole lot of selection. Certainly not much that was even high end. I remember in '89, the upper deck Griffey was the rage, and I don't know that I ever saw more than just one or two boxes of upper deck even available anywhere where in my hometown where I could purchase those. So that wasn't an option. And I remember, we all read the Beckett's, and at that time I was for the longest time, everything I did was just, buying lots of packs, buying lots of boxes of whatever I could. And it was always just chasing whatever that hot thing was. Whether it was an air card, it was a certain insert set, whether it was hot rookies, airs, all of those things. It was just constantly chasing things until I got to about 1999. And around that time, I met my wife and we got married. And, it was a young couple just getting started in life. I kind of put the collecting aside, and I didn't do anything for a few years there. It wasn't until really after my first son was born, I started to kind of get the itch that I wanted to get back into collecting. But I didn't have a lot of money to spend at the time, and I knew just from buying all those packs and looking back at my collection that I had a whole lot of stuff that wasn't really worth anything. And I didn't really want to repeat that same process. And my thought was, well, I would build a collection of cards of the Hall of Fame, and I'd get one card for each player in the Hall of Fame. And and it wouldn't necessarily have to be, an expensive card or anything from their playing days or anything. Just something that was nice, even if it only was worth maybe $5 or something. That was what I wanted to do. Well, it didn't really work out that way because once I started acquiring stuff, I just kept wanting more, and I never was good at getting rid of anything once I bought it and maybe upgraded to something else. But anyway, as I was getting started in that, and I started trying to buy Hall of Famers, I was still, the hobby had changed so much from before, and there were things I wasn't really figuring out, and grading was coming into vogue, but I'd only read a couple of articles about it and didn't really understand some of the intricacies, especially about the different grading companies and understanding the differences and what they all were. And so this item that I ended up picking up, I kind of didn't really realize what it was. And it is, I saw it as a 1954 Topps, and it said SI Preview, which I didn't really understand, but I knew a 1954 Topps Richie Ashburn, according to the price guides, was an expensive card, especially if it was graded a mint. But what I didn't realize until after I got it, that this wasn't a card, and you can see that there's almost no thickness to it, that this is actually an advertising that was in a copy of Sports Illustrated in 1954, advertising this Topps set. And, I don't think I spent maybe $10, $12 for it. Anything, nothing very much, but once I got it and realized it wasn't actually a card, I was kind of aggravated with myself. And also, around that same time, I purchased an item of Grover Cleveland Alexander. And I thought it was possibly like a poster or something. It wasn't, the eBay description wasn't very clear as to what it was for a reason. They didn't want to come out and spell it out that the picture I was buying wasn't a card or a premium or a poster or anything. It was a page cut out of a Spalding baseball guide, which would have been kind of a similar to maybe like a just a kind of like the sporting news, but more of a annual book format, going over who the players in that were. And I remember when I got it and realized what it was after I received it, I was really angry and upset at myself for, it wasn't that I spent a lot of money on these things, but it was the fact that I was buying things and not really understanding what it was that I had bought. And so kind of those two items, and I still have the Alexander piece somewhere. I think it's in my storage unit, and I couldn't find it because I've always kept them as kind of a reminder. And I've always said, after that point, that I wanted to be better about understanding the hobby and the history and knowing what things were. And it really kind of got me focused on wanting to learn as much as I could about the hobby and the history of it and these cards and the players. And for me, that has been, it was the mistakes I made here here, even in my early 20s, several years back, that that shaped me and made me want to be, a more informed and knowledgeable collector. And so these are the pieces that have ended up defining me. So I've been going on a little bit long here, so I'm gonna cut it off. I do want to wish one more time congratulations to Reina Martin, and also I just recently hit 250 subscribers as well. I will be announcing a contest for that here shortly, probably within the next week. So please be watching for that. Take care and have a great day.